Hey y'all, it's your girl Paula Wilhite with Paula Wilhite and Associates Real Estate Team, talking about It's a Vibe, Real Talk Real Estate. We're going to go around the table right now and introduce ourselves.
My name is Jared Trujillo. I'm an agent with Paula Wilhite and Associates Real Estate Team. Been with her for about 3 years now.
My name is Prentice Weisingle IV. I'm also an agent with the Paula Wilhite and Associates Real Estate Team. Been on the team for about a year now.
Hey guys, it's your mortgage champ Cam with Big Valley Mortgage. Been in the industry for lending for about 14 years now. You know, on the last episode we left off, Jared posed a question regarding what about those that are interested in getting into real estate just for the money? This is really good.
Yeah. Well, we all know that you can't be in this business just for the money because people can smell that right off. And if you think you're going to get in here and make a lot of money right away, that ain't going to necessarily happen either. So why don't we talk about our journey as we move forward? Let's talk about our journey in getting here, as to how long it took you. What your steps were when you actually closed your first deal.
But first, I want to talk about the people who got into real estate for the money, because that's a question that I get on social media a lot. Not even a question, but just people who tell me, help me get into real estate because I want to make a lot of money. And I always the first thing I tell them, I'm very honest, I said, if you want to get into real estate strictly based off because you want to make money, it's not going to work for you. People are going to be able to tell. You actually have to have a passion for helping people to be successful in this business. And that was something that I had, I have passion for helping people. That got me into real estate and has been a part of my journey as well.
All right. Well, I mean, this industry is all about providing a service for people, and if your approach to people is that you're trying to make money off them, people smell that. We call that commission breath. I mean,
that's real talk.
I mean, at the end of the day, your goal, if you are coming into this industry and you're looking to be successful, is to help people, because what we do here is we serve them long term. They buy a house, they're in that house for the next 30 years. When I'm talking to a client about buying a house, I'm educating them about the market, the area, what could possibly happen in this area, because I want to make sure that they see all the benefits of not only buying this house but the experience of working with me. And I think a lot of agents miss that, which is why they fail.
Yeah, coming in with unrealistic expectations. I always tell people when you get into real estate, I tell them to keep their job. Because then that way they can start building a database from there. Yeah. And also it enables them to, still make money, because you have to invest in yourself. So many times, you got to pay real estate, realtor dues, you got MLS fees. Yeah. There's a lot of things that people have to take in consideration. You got to buy cards, if your company is not going to supply your first set. So there are a lot of things that you have to purchase prior to getting into the real estate field. So I really think that it's very, very important, that they understand that it's a little more, and you better have a nice little pocketbook when you get started.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. Like, I know we all have a journey, so we talked about on the last episode what sparked our interest. But when you guys thought, okay, real estate is something that I want to get into, tell us a little bit about what that was for you, maybe throughout, you studying and you passing the exam. And once you got in, how that worked and how hard or how easy was it for you?
Well, since I'm the OG at the table, and I have to think the longest because it's been so long. But I got into it, like I said, as a single mother, and to be able to be with my kids. And the journey was, I got into loans first. So that was. I didn't know that either. Yeah, I was in Southern California. I got into loans, and I knew that I said I got to work to raise my children, and so I started working in that in the loan industry. But that wasn't really what I wanted to do. But it was, I didn't really fit that. I was just trying to make it work.
Right.
So I got into it, and then I kind of decided, let me get back into my makeup field and so forth and so on. Then I moved up to Sacramento, and I was single at that time. And so I knew there was something I had to do. So I got into, I knew I didn't want to do the loans, so I had a guy I'll never forget his name, but I'm not gonna name him. But he kept calling me all the time about getting into real estate. So finally, I got into it and been here ever since. And I love what I'm doing. And it took me a while to get my first deal.
What was your struggle? Like, how long would you say?
I'd say my first deal probably came within about 3 months. And I'm gonna tell you what. You have to have a why. And my why was my kids. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I was not from Sacramento, so I had a lot of things against me. I wasn't from here, didn't have a base, so everything I had to deal with was just, starting fresh. Right. So with that, I had to make it work for my kids. I knew I was going to be single, and I did not want a 9-to-5, so I had to put it in, get it all in, and I needed a car and all those different things. So my why was big. That's how I got into it. That was my journey.
You said that it took you a while to get your first deal, and that happened within 3 months?
Yeah, 3 months. Mm-hmm. Okay. And that's pretty good sometimes, because some people it takes 6 months. It might be a year, It depends. You got to have that why,
Right. I mean, the reason I'm asking is because you hear different stories depending on who you talk to. I mean, you can go on YouTube right now and, look up how to get into real estate, and there'll be a ton of agents telling you that they made $100,000 within their first year, but then you actually go and talk to some real estate agents, and, most of the time they've only did, 2 to 3 deals their first year, and their first deal came in 6 months after. So, my expectation coming in was that's how long it was going to take. It took me, I want to say it took me about 2 months as well, but I think...
I remember your first listing.
I remember too.
I remember.
And I feel like my first deal really jaded me. I mean, the market at that time was really hot. I get that... I put the house on the market in April. I got my license in May. But I was working with those clients back in May. I mean, as soon as I got my license, I was knocking on doors. I knocked on their doors. I met them.
Was that how you got your first deal?
That's how I got my first deal, by knocking on doors. And we closed, we got into contract within 12 days after being on the market, and closed it pretty early. I think it only took about 18 days for it to close in escrow. And my thought process was, this is going to be easy. Like everything else is going to be uphill from here, because all I got to do is knock on a couple doors. Each listing I post is going to, get a accepted offer within 12 days, but that's not how my second listing went. It took about 100 days, and what I really learned from that was you actually really have to work to sell the home. It's not just it's not just posting it on the MLS and hoping that you get calls from realtors. I mean, you got to put out a video, you got to take really good pictures. I mean, I'm emailing realtors constantly. I mean, every realtor that went and saw my first listing, I sent them an email about my newest listing. I mean, I just collected all that data, and I think because of the information that's out there that's not so clear, a lot of real estate agents come in with the wrong expectation.
You got to also know, too, there are different factors with that as well. Because, I mean, it could be you may live in a very expensive neighborhood and your family knows everybody. And, of course, you're going to be the successful agent because everybody likes you and your family knows everybody. So there are different factors in how some people, make a lot of money. So you have to really take a lot into consideration. There may be people who had businesses already that already have a huge database of people that that really like them and want to do business with them. So, there are lots of different factors as to how people are successful in this business.
Wow. A lot of good information, you guys. And I feel like we need to have a part 2 of this so we can hear how Jared's story is, because he's a millennial. I'm in lending, and my story is very similar to yours, a little bit different. It definitely takes a lot of drive and determination and consistency. And I would say that sometimes people get into it because the first thing that they hear is that, they get in and there's no limit to the amount of income that you can make. Right. And they don't realize all the hard work that goes into putting it up.
I know just from people reaching out to me, a lot of people assume that whatever company they go with, that they pretty much don't have to look for their own clients. Yeah. They're just going to work with a bigger real estate company. You know,
that's why I said we definitely have to have a part 2 to this. So thank you guys so much for joining our It's a Vibe, Real Talk in Real Estate. And tune in for next time for our next topic. See you soon.
It's a Vibe.